Hey y'all, welcome back to Golden Keys Life Coaching. If you are viewing this short clip on Instagram, don't forget to run on over to my YouTube channel so you can get the full video. Okay, don't forget to subscribe and like, share if you want, up to you. I'm talking to my moms, single fathers, single mothers, but mostly single mothers. Okay, we talking about our boys today, right? I want to share with you um, something that I learned some years ago, and I mean years ago. And this was what I learned. I actually ended up needing it in my own personal life. Okay, so um, many years ago, there was a situation that came up with my ex-husband and I, and there was a custody battle. Okay, a surprise custody battle. And so it went in a way that my sons are grown, they're doing good, everybody's good and healthy. Ex-husband's doing well, I'm doing well. But at the time, I had a lot of financial difficulties. And so, I went through a pretty traumatic experience as far as having to, relinquish custody of my two oldest sons to their father. Okay. Um, and the manner in which it was done, it wasn't the best. It was kind of a traumatic experience. Nevertheless, everybody got through it, right? So, what I want to share with you is what anchored me during that situation. And I feel like a lot of mothers, especially if you're raising sons, this can help you as well. Okay, so this concept is what I actually held on to just keep my sanity through that whole situation. Okay, and my sons, they're adults now, they're in their 20s, doing well, handsome, and I have two more children as well that I'm coming up behind them. So, and I wore my man hat today. I mean, it's a woman's hat, forgive me. But I wore my little hat today. Isn't this cute? Shout out to Auntie Jackie. Um, it's a hat store in New York. Awesome hats. And this is like one of my favorites. So since we're talking about man stuff, I wore my little hat. Okay. Um, so what we're talking about is the unfinished man. Okay. And this actually starts in boyhood. Okay. And um, more than likely, a man would become unfinished. Not always, but if he was to become unfinished, a lot of times it's because he had a single mother and didn't have a male figure in his life. Or I would say a single mother who didn't understand certain things. Okay. I have an ex-husband and I have children with two other men. And, you know, I have never been that type of woman who kept my children from their fathers. Okay. I have three boys and a girl. And girls, we need our fathers in a different way. And that's another topic. Okay, we're gonna focus on the gentlemen. Okay, but I never kept them from their fathers. I encouraged the relationships no matter what happened between us, because at the end of the day, no matter what I know as a person, no matter what, I am not a man. Okay, and there's certain things I could never ever truly teach my sons, because I'm not a man. Just like there's certain things, I cannot show my daughter because a woman needs to see that from her father, okay, growing up. And I acknowledge that, I accept that, so I stay in my lane. I allow them to be with their fathers because I know there's something that he gives them that no matter what, I can never do, okay, because I just don't have that makeup, right? And so when my oldest sons went to live with their father, this concept I'm going to share with you is what got me through that. And I actually read this before that even happened. And when I was reading this, I remember thinking to myself, I feel like I'm being prepared for something. So when it all started going down, I was like, I needed to hear this. I needed this information because I was going to have to lean on this. Okay. So, if you are, you know, my ladies out here that have children with multiple people, and you're having issues with the other parent, I highly suggest you, especially before the fall comes, when the Saturn energy goes direct and karma is being dished out, I highly suggest, I don't care what has happened, if this man is not putting your child in any danger, in any dangerous situations, if there's no one abusing or harming your child, you know, let them go with their father. You know, do not use children as a means to hold power over someone who is no longer interested in you. Okay? Let it go. All right? You got some men like that too, that they won't deal with the woman unless she's dating with him or sleeping with him, so he don't want to deal with the kids. Okay, so that's his choice. Okay, that is his choice. But as you, as a mother, I'm asking you, if you are using your children as bait or as pawns or a means to control somebody because you're bitter about something else, I highly suggest you rethink that way of thinking. Okay, you're really harming your child. Do some inner work on yourself, some counseling if you have to release that relationship so that you can co-parent peacefully. Okay. So let's get into this. All right. So there are a lot of unfinished men walking around in this world. Okay. I've dated many of them. Whew, and that's not easy to do. Okay. A lot of relationships have issues. And a lot of them are this right here. There were stages that man missed coming up as a child. And so a man has to go through these 5 stages in order to truly feel complete. And if he misses any of these steps, he's going to have to do it some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. He's going to have to get it out. And a lot of times it trickles into adulthood when they should have done this as children or adolescents. Okay. And so they come off with that Peter Pan syndrome where they don't want to grow up. Okay. It's not that they don't want to grow up. You know, I feel like a lot of men do want to grow up. They want to be responsible. Like, why wouldn't you? You know, they want to be included in society. Like, why not? You know what I'm saying? They want to be respected in their communities, respected from their families, respected by their children, respected by, you know, the women in their life or past women in their life, whatever. They still want to be respected, right? And so, but there's stages that led up to his manhood and masculinity that were skipped. And so when that happens, he's going to try to recoup those in his adulthood. And a lot of times that man doesn't even understand why he's doing it. He has no clue. He just knows he got something in his system and he need to get it out. Okay, that's it, you know. And any woman that's standing in his way, instead of a help, she becomes more of a hinder. Instead of coming off as encouraging, supportive, it comes off like, you know, a nag instead, you know. So let me go into the stages and that'll maybe clear some things up for you. But if you're raising sons, you have boys, I want you to keep these things in mind, okay? So, and these stages are not ones, and I have my notes here because it's a lot of information. It's a lot of information. So, you know, and these stages don't have to be taken in order. They don't have to be taken, you know, they can be taken out of order. That's fine. As long as the man completes them, okay? As long as your son completes them. The only time that there's might be an issue is if he's forced into one of these stages before he's ready. And a good example of that is the young man who's told, you're the man of the house now, okay? Dad is gone or he took off or whatever. So now you're the man of the house. And let's say he's 10, okay? He's being forced into a stage that he's not ready for, and that actually can cause a lot of psychological damage, okay? I feel like, you know, in my day of growing up, in the late 70s, 80s, there was a lot of that, you know, especially when the crack era came along and destroyed a lot of black families. The young men were left to hold things down. You know, dad got a hold to the crack and he was in the streets and he couldn't come back home. He couldn't make it back home. Or he was selling it. You know, he couldn't get back home because he needed to get that money, you know, or mom, somebody got to mom and now she can't get home because she's out in the street strung out, you know. Mom might have been selling, who knows? But either way, you know, when crack infiltrated our black, you know, communities, it left a lot of young men in this state. Okay. And that was very psychologically damaging to any young boy, to be thrusted into the stage of a man, or have the responsibilities of a man placed on him before it's time. Okay, so the stages that I'm going to mention, they can be taken out of order, but what they cannot do is be pushed upon, a young man too soon. Okay, so should make sure I got everything. Okay, so the first stage is the beloved son. Okay, and I'm gonna actually read to you. I want to find the book. I want to show you. I read this book. Man, my daughter is 15. I read this book before she was born. I want to say 16 years ago is when I found this book. And I remember purchasing it. I did add it to my library. Hold on one second. I want to show you the cover. I know I got it up here somewhere. I'm so excited. My library is like really growing. Okay, found it. All right. So, this is what the book looks like. Okay. It's called Wild at Heart by John Eldredge. So I'm not a religious person. Okay. At this time, reading it 16 years ago, I was heavy into the church, into the religion, organized religion. But there's still things of the organized religion that I came out of that I do still hold very dear to me. Okay, there's pieces that, it's just garbage to me now. And then there's pieces that I do hold very dear to, and I know that it resonates as the truth with me. So it has a lot of Christian references in this book. Nevertheless, if you're not a Christian or you're not a spiritual person, it doesn't matter. I promise you, you're gonna learn something big from this. And if you have sons, single mom or not, this is definitely good information. Okay, and it's been around for a long time. So the first stage is the beloved son. I'm gonna read to you what it says. It says, the first stage of the beloved son is boyhood. So a male is figuring out how the world works at this time. Okay, he's bumping around and getting high fives by his mentor or his father figures, or his father. He has a support that he wants and needs, and these are the years of like maybe age 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish. The beginning where he's, running around the house, doing stuff, getting into things, jumping off couches, jumping off furniture, backflipping off the steps, stuff like that, He's outside climbing trees, picking up sticks, playing in the dirt, things like that. So, and it says, the beloved son is a time to be the apple of your father's eye, a time of affirmation to know that he, as his father's son, is prized, delighted in, and that he's the beloved son. And I remember the book made reference to Jesus when he was, I think, was he getting baptized or something? I don't know. It was something where God shined down on Jesus and was like, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. So it's basically the same thing, Every young boy needs that affirmation. So when he backflips off those steps and thankfully doesn't break anything, he's looking for that high five from dad, like, I did it. He just wants to know I can do it. That's why he becomes risky. Boys, they want to jump off things. They want to swing from stuff. They kind of test the waters, but they just want to know that they can do it. That's all. They just want to know that they are capable. It's programming their minds to know that they are capable to do strong and dangerous things, right? So as a mother, that makes us nervous, right? That scares us like, oh my God, my baby done broke his leg. Or, boy, if you don't sit down, don't you jump off that furniture, no, stuff like that. And you got to teach your kids to respect furniture, of course. But when they do certain things like climbing from the tree and they swing, as women, we have to be very careful and not stop them from that process. Let them explore. Let them get dirty. Let them fall down and just hold it. Wait. See what they do. You know, if he cries, then you go over to him and you comfort him. But if he doesn't, let him get up, shake it off, and move on. You know, I used to be that kind of mom where I hovered like, oh my God, get out of the tree. Oh my God, put that dirt down. Oh my God, what are you doing? Oh my God, you're going to break it. Oh my God, you're going to kill yourself. So I had to put that away and like, April, these are boys. Let them do them. Like, I remember my second son, he was 4 and he was a rough one. Okay. He played football with some 10-year-old kids. It was like 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old kids, and he wanted to play football with them. And I did not want him to play football. But at the time, I was dating my daughter's father, and he was like, listen, let him test his strength. Okay, if he want to try it out, let him try it out. Okay, now if he get trampled and knocked over, he'll know to walk away, you know, but he got to learn that. And it was just like, I was so angry with him that he was telling me something, he was teaching me something. I was angry, but he was right, he was correct. And I was like, okay, you're right, I'm gonna let him go play football, you know, whatever, do your thing. But I was nervous. And so, you know, we going back in the house and do whatever. And then my son, he comes running down the driveway, full speed. Screaming and crying. I was like, see, I told you he's going to get hurt, blah, blah, blah. You know, and so he's walking all slow. And I'm like, get him. He was like, he's fine. Well, he knocked his tooth out. He knocked his front tooth out playing football. And I was like, it was blood everywhere. I was like, oh my God, my baby, he's only 4 years old. I told you. Freaking out. He's not freaking out, but I'm freaking out. So, you know, I'm getting him cleaned up or whatever. And I'm trying to fix his food in a way where it won't bother his, you know, and he kept trying to eat. And I was like, no, you can't. He was like, let him eat. If it hurts, he'll fix it in his mouth so he can get it down. Let him eat. And so then he was ready to go back outside. And I was like, no, you already got your front tooth knocked out. No, you can't go back outside. And he said, why? I said, because he got hurt. He was like, so? He's fine. He's telling you his body can take it. He's good. Okay? You know, he's a smart kid. If he don't want to do it, he's not the kind of kid, even at 4, that he's going to do something. He's letting you know he's all right. The bleeding, he's not bleeding, and he wants to give it another shot. So let him. So basically, you know, that was kind of that stage. And so I appreciate, you know, my daughter's father at that time for doing that, because, you know, he would talk to my son, and before he went back out to play football again, you know, he would say things to him that affirmed him, to let him know you can do it. You are strong like they are. You know what I'm saying? So that was a form of affirmation, affirming to him that he is a beloved son, because we are concerned about you. Okay. But we're also pleased with you. We're pleased with your strength. We're pleased with your courage and your bravery right now. You know, so that's it. That's the first stage. That's what a boy needs. Okay. He needs to know that whatever he's attempting, he can do it. Even if he messes himself up a little bit, it's okay. He can do it. He's capable. He's strong. And nevertheless, he's loved. Okay, he's cared for, you know, so that's the beloved son stage. And unfortunately, there are a lot of young boys who go throughout their entire day and never feel that. They don't feel like anybody cares, or they feel powerless because they have a mom or a grandmother or somebody that just won't let them do anything. You know, they won't let them do anything somewhat, you know, dangerous. Now, of course, there's a line here. We're not going to let our boys be out here doing nothing crazy and killing themselves and injuring themselves to a certain degree. But you should understand what I mean. You know, am I going to let my 4-year-old play with fire? No, we're not going to do that. But if he's climbing that tree, I'm not going to pull him down. I'm going to let him get up there and see what he does. If he fall, I just got to hope he didn't break anything. You know, if he did, we deal accordingly. But nevertheless, we want to make our boys know that they're capable. You know, that's why they run around the house, run up and down the steps, take the laundry basket, and they want to slide down the steps. And, you know, that's that beloved son stage. You know, he want to know that he's capable. He can do it. It's going to, and that particular stage mirrors the cowboy stage a little bit, but we'll get to that. So You know, it was like at that moment, his actual father wasn't there, but the father figure at that point in time let him know that he was the apple of his eye. You know, when he took that time to, let him know, like, you can do this, you're fine, I got you. You know, if you hurt yourself again, I'm right over here for you. I'm right here. I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna sit right here on this porch and watch you. Like that's that feeling of being, the apple of your father's eye. Okay. He got to know that his dad is just and love him, but his dad knows that he's also capable. His dad loves him so much that he's okay with letting him go a little bit, right? So that's the beloved son stage. Now, when a man does not get that, he tends to stay in a perpetual state of codependency. These are the mama's boys. They kind of turn into mama's boys. Okay, they're very childlike. They want to be taken care of, but they want to be taken care of in the way that a mother would take care of them instead of a woman or a wife. Does you understand what I'm saying? So that's very detrimental. Okay, and a man can be 40 or 50 years old still trying to capture the essence of him being the apple of his father's eye. Now, what if he never met his father? What if he didn't have that? Any male figures to lean on in his father's place to let him know that they were the apple of his eye, that he's loved. He's going to look for it in a relationship later. And so the relationship is going to start out probably well, but as time go on, he's going to depend on her more like a parent, and he's going to require a lot of attention. And there's going to be some boundaries crossed as far as the need for attention. You understand what I'm saying? That adult man needs from his woman or his wife, it's going to be a little overboard, if that makes sense. Okay. Or he gets into friendships with a lot of males. He can sort of drain the life out of his friend circle because he needs so much attention. Okay. So the next stage is the cowboy stage. So the beloved son stage kind of runs into the cowboy stage. And I'm going to read this. So it says, the cowboy, in this stage, the unfinished man is looking for his own way in life. He's still bumping into things, but this is the first time that he gets the opportunity to do things on his own. Many times a male is going through a lot of first time activities, such as getting his driver's license, maybe go on a trip with his friends, to the movies by themselves or go somewhere by themselves. This is a time of adventure and testing, a time to learn to do hard work. He learns to hunt, maybe throw a mean three-point shot. Okay. He gets his first touchdown, his first memorable tackle, even if it's in the backyard. He catches his first fish, and he got to gut it himself. It's a time of daring, testing. He ventures off into the woods by himself, just exploration without reason. So that's the cowboy stage, when he's ready to go off by himself. He wants to. Now, the age, it's not limited to specific ages, but around this time, usually the cowboy stage can start around 13 to about 17, 18 maybe. So, he gets to the point where he can have a license. He wants to drive by himself. Maybe if he's a little younger, he wants to ride his bike, to the next city by himself. This time he wants to ride his bike to his friends instead of you taking them, things like that. So this is, again, a further reiteration, not by dad. So the beloved son stage is by dad, right? That male to look at him and say, you are the apple of my eye. You are me. I am you. You can do it. Just, you're going to be just like me. You can do this. Okay. And while you're doing this and bumping your head, I'm right here. Okay. The cowboy is the same concept, except we're going to let you do this on your own. When you look and you turn and look, nobody's going to be there. Okay. So if you go to the next city on your bike and you find you might have took a wrong turn and you're lost, and you look around, I'm not going to be there. I'm trusting you to find your way to where you got to go, or turn around and get back home safely. Okay. I'm going to let you venture off into the woods with your friends. I'm not going to tell you how far you can go. I'm going to let you determine how far you can go. Okay. Things like that. So that's a cowboy stage. Typically when a man misses that, the behavioral pattern in relationships later, because he has to get it, he's going to reach for it. This is going to be, he probably wants to maybe buy a motorcycle, but he never wants you to ride with him as his girlfriend or his wife. He always want to go by himself. Or let's say he likes to go fishing a lot, okay? But when he goes fishing, maybe he don't want you to really touch anything or do anything, or he wants to do it all himself, or he just likes to go by himself. Sometimes he might get into like riskier sports. Okay, this is the guy who, is playing adult football. It doesn't have to be pro or semi-pro. Maybe he just has a little private league or something in his city. So he's still playing football. He's still breaking legs and things like that from certain sports activities, or riding his motorcycle or something like that. He becomes, maybe his temper, because of other things, and this is a trigger, the temper flares him up when he feels powerless. Okay, his temper may flare up, and now he wants to do reckless things. Or he finds himself in a shootout with somebody. Like, that's for no reason. You shoot this, and you for what? Why you But it's the cowboy stage. He's trying to get out. That's really what it is. Something happened that triggered that need to know that I can be dangerous and I can do this myself. I got it. I can do it on my own. I don't need your help. I can handle this. If I get into a mess up situation, I can defend myself just fine. I can fight back. You know what I'm saying? If I get hurt, I can put myself back together. Like, that's what they need. They're going to act it out some kind of way. Okay. So the next one is the warrior. The warrior stage. And let me read this to you. So it says the warrior. This is the stage of the man and where he wants to get things done. This is where a male really starts becoming a man. At this point, he's starting to earn his own, and he's deciding to do things that have meaning to them. Many times it doesn't matter what it takes to get things done. He just knows that's what his life is meant for, and he's not going to take no for an answer. So this is the stage of when maybe he's going off to college, okay? He's deciding what he wants to do with his life. He has decided, or he's in the process of deciding what he wants to become, how he wants to make his mark in the world. What does he want to do to make his life here on earth meaningful? How does he want to give back? Does he want to be, a physical therapist? Does he want to teach? Does he want to be an attorney? Maybe he wants to go to school to be a barber. Whatever it is to make himself relevant in society, that's the warrior stage. And so he decides what he wants to do, or have somewhat of an idea, and he'll decide where he wants to get that education from, and he goes after it. And there's nothing you can do, to stop him. You shouldn't, this could be maybe a military send-off. He's deciding, well, I don't want to go to college. I want to go to the military. A lot of moms, they don't have military background. That may be a little, scary, but you have to let them go. You got to let them do it. You can't say, well, no, everybody in this family, we go to college over here and nobody's doing this. You can't do that. That is going to psychologically cause damage, to hold him back from doing what he wants to do. Even if as his parent, that's not going to fit his personality. I know my kid. He's not going to hang in with that. He's going to quit that within. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. He has to figure that out for himself. This is also the first time where he encounters real, true evil. Okay? So he has a mission to start his life on his own. But this is the point where he finally gets to kind of see society from a different angle. He gets to see the real of the world. Okay, this is when he can see how treacherous people can be. He kind of has some idea, not complete, but some idea of what heartbreak is about. This is when he learns, you know, what a no good woman looks like and what she does and how she does it, and you know, injustices in the world, political things, activism. This is when they kind of get into that sort of thing. And that's the warrior. He's learning how to take in his environment and fight back for what he does not agree with. Okay, that is very important. All right. The man that kind of misses this, he's usually jumping from thing to thing, career to career, job to job, okay, in his life. He's not a stick and stay type of a person when it comes to what he does for a living. He might switch up a lot. I'll say that. This is the person who pretend they don't have an opinion. You know, when they hear about certain things, he's just like, yeah, well, you know, whatever. That's just the way it is. You know, he doesn't fight for anything. If you know, I'm leaving you, I can't take this anymore. He's like, okay, bye. He hasn't learned to fight for what he believes in, what he feels in his heart. He doesn't want you to walk away. He feels in his heart what he wants, but he can't fight for it. He just like, all right. And then life just kind of passes him by, right? And it keeps passing him by. So because he has not learned that warrior, he has not gained that warrior heart, okay? And so if he tries to regain it, a lot of times he's going to fight back unnecessarily, or he's going to fight where the fight isn't necessary, if that makes sense, okay? He's going to be combative, you know, towards people that are actually supportive, you know, because he hasn't learned the difference and what he believes. He hasn't come up with his own philosophies, his own views of what he feels in his heart and his mind, and actually stand on it and walk through that and fight for what he believes in, what he wants. You know, he hasn't learned that. So he's going to be fighting battles that are unnecessary, if that makes sense. Okay. So the next part would be, oh, and you know what? The warrior stage too, I apologize, I meant to mention, this is where they learn discipline, inner discipline, okay? Through going to class every day, having to manage your own time in college. There's no bells ringing. There's no one telling you where to go, when to go. You have to manage your own time and your assignments. You know, college is like that first stage, or the military is that first stage where you look around and know it's all you. You know, you have to do this. There's no one ushering you along and say, okay, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that. No, you have to do that stuff yourself now. So it grows your inner discipline, okay? So the fourth stage would be the lover, all right? The lover, many times this level might overlap with the warrior stage, and a lot of them do, okay? At this point, the man is realizing the small things in his life and what he can bring to others. He's no longer looking for a girl because he feels incomplete or incompetent, or feels like if he had a girlfriend, he would be accepted. He actually longs for a girlfriend because he truly wants companionship. He looks at her as a partner instead of a challenge. He's looking for her because he wants to add value to her life and not what she can add to his. So there's another part. I made notes from what I remember, because I definitely wasn't about to read that book all over again. But I, skipped around to pieces that I wanted to remember. But I also want to point out here, this is when a man also realizes, he notices beauty. Okay, he notices not just outer beauty in women, he actually notices their inner beauty. Like he notices like a woman's conversation, if she's highly intellectual and he likes that, that's when he looks at her like, wow, like he starts to see past all of this and he's looking into her and he's truly interested, and he's looking at like, wow, I could really help her develop her skills even more. What can I give to her? Or she says she wants to do this, she doesn't do that. But if we was together and I had my income, and that would allow her to be able to, because I love seeing her in her element. I love seeing her be like this. I love seeing her do that. You know what I'm saying? What can I do to bring that out of her even more, and make her mine? Like, that's a lover. You know what I'm saying? He notices flowers that are pretty. You know, doesn't just walk down the walkway and just keep walking. This is a man that actually may glance and be like, man, those flowers are beautiful. And you know, he keeps walking. He might say it to himself like, man, those roses are gorgeous. Or you know, man, those plants are beautiful. You know, he starts to kind of tap into his feminine energy, but it's on the point of noticing and being aware of what beauty truly is. So when a man misses that, a lot of times he becomes very ungrateful for a beautiful woman in his life because he didn't notice it. He didn't notice her. He was not aware. And a lot of times he's not going to become aware until she leaves his life. That's when the light bulb will go off and he'll say, oh, so there was a difference. And that made me feel good. And she's beautiful. Like this light bulb comes on. But a lot of times some damage has been done. Some heartbreak has happened before that. Okay. So the next stage. And you know what? I'm going to say this. And if some of these women, I hope this doesn't, tap on you too much, but it's real. So this is also the man where you felt like maybe at one point all he could see was you. Okay, that maybe y'all been together when y'all was young or something. You get older and he's expressing, or you're noticing that he's becoming more, he's noticing other women more than he used to. Sometimes it's not, but he's not being disrespectful about it. Sometimes it's not about, maybe he's getting bored with me or he's trying. No, it's just something about that lover stage might have kicked in and he's noticing more beauty around him that he didn't notice before. So he's looking at other women like, wow, okay. Even if it's a physical thing, he's seeing something different, or he's listening to a woman talk and he's looking at her differently. Like, I can actually see her soul a little bit. I can see her mind a little bit, like, and she's really beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, something could be kicking in. It's not always a bad thing, okay? When we're in relationships, we're just that. We're not dead. You know what I'm saying? So if he sees another beautiful woman's, conversation is catching him, as long as he's not being disrespectful or sneaky about nothing, okay, let him have that because he need that. He's still processing things. And if you know enough about his childhood or where he grew up from, and if you understand he didn't grow up around a lot of beautiful things, beautiful people, beautiful spirits, beautiful talk, positive things, he's not going to know what that is. He's going to first see it as an outer thing, or he's going to always relate it sexually. And it's going to take time to unravel that ill thinking, if ever at all, and start to see more than just a physical or a sexual aspect. Okay. He's getting in tune with something else. And when that happens, it's odd. It's weird to them. And they're like, what is going on? But you got to give him the space to work that out. Okay. He don't need you, you looking at it, and it's not even, it may not even really be about that. Slow down, observe first. Okay. But he could be completing a stage. He's noticing something he didn't notice before. Okay. So the next, and I don't mean he about to leave you because he's noticing something different. It's a psychological process that has to be had, okay, for him to feel completely whole. We as women and what we do for them in the bedroom, that's not what keeps him whole. It's just not. It keeps him whole for a few minutes, but that's it. When he has his orgasm, then his moment of clarity comes through, then that's it. Like, okay, that's it. It don't hold long. So that's not what that's, about. So the next part is the king. Everybody want to call themselves a king. I've seen a lot of men call themselves king. Are they kings though? Nah, not at all. And that's okay. That's okay. Because, a lot of women ain't queens yet. Call themselves queens. You could be a king and queen in your essence. Okay? Absolutely. If we have Egyptian backgrounds, then yeah, you are definitely some kind of king, queen, pharaoh, or something, empress, whatever. But in everyday life, do you conduct yourself as a king or a queen? Mm-mm. So, but again, we ain't talking about the queens right now. The kings. The king stage is this. This is the point where the man is earning the fruits of his labor. He can teach other men how to be warriors. Remember, fight from his heart space. Develop his own philosophies and stand on them, okay? And don't be afraid to change them as life evolves, okay? So he can teach other men how to do and how to be a warrior, how to do the warrior's work and be a warrior, and can help them learn how to attract others that they want to attract. So this is the man who's been there, done it. He's completed the other stages, whether he had a father that was able to give that to him or another male mentor was able to give that to him. He learned some things, okay? And this is usually the man who has steady, stable career or income. He might be a father by now. We don't know, but it's possible. But whatever hard work he's put in, he's seeing the fruits of it. Okay. He's seeing his dedication in his finances. He's seeing that he's worked hard. Maybe he finally got that promotion, or he's working at a certain place for a certain period of time. He's made his first anniversary at his job. His income is stable. He's taking care of his family. There's not a lot of financial issues. He can now actually have room to think about maybe starting his own business or a nonprofit organization, or he has enough overflow in his life in all areas where he's actually able to pour into other young men. He's now ready to be a mentor to another young man, okay? He's ready to teach how to find work, stable work, how to handle your finances. He can actually, you can consult with him now about business ventures and things like that, okay? He's mastered himself. He's mastered his craft. He's mastered his money. Okay, he's mastered his family, all right? And he can teach you now how to manifest. He's actually went into the manifestation. So when he became that warrior in his heart and decided what he wanted, what he fight for, he actually went for it, okay? And as he went for it, he might have found love, and he's seen the beauty in the fight, and he's dedicated. He's making love to his career, his business, or his whatever he's dedicated to. So now he can show you how to manifest, how to bring things to yourself, how to keep that job, how to, handle conflict in business world, how to keep yourself safe in the business world, how to keep your family together, how to appease your wife, how to discipline your kids. Like, this man knows, because he's been there, done it. He's at his king stage, okay? So a man that has not had the opportunity to do this, this is the man that we see not working, and there's a woman taking care of him, because he's probably still trying to be the apple of his dad's eye, and he's still stuck in the beloved son stage, so he's got a ways to go. This is the man who complains. He becomes a victim. It's always other people's fault why I can't get ahead. This is possibly the man who gets frustrated with the process of becoming a king and gives up too soon, or he does something too quick to kind of cheat the code and maybe finds himself in jail. Okay? So a lot can happen when a man misses the king stage, because this is one of the ultimate stages. Okay? Everything leads to this, right? You cannot be a king and not understand beauty. You cannot be a king of this nature and not know how to treat your daughter, how to treat your wife, how to treat your mother, your sisters. Like, all those relationships should be as harmonized as possible that you can control. Okay, that man can control. He can't control other people. If they don't want to square away and be at peace, then that's their problem. But he's done what he could do to try to make that happen. Okay, so, and the last stage is the sage. This is the ultimate goal after becoming king in your world. Okay, as a man. Mothers, this is what our boys, these are the stages our boys need these things. They don't just need tennis shoes and video games. we need to make sure they're completing these stages, okay? And if there's a stage we cannot get them through because we're not men, it is our job as mothers to find, male figures that are good for them. Put them in sports, some kind of activity. If you're a churchgoer, put them in some kind of church thing with people you can trust. These church stuff, but people that you can trust to, mentor. You got an older brother, a younger brother, or somebody, an uncle, anybody. It is our job to put them in those positions where they can get some of what they need. Okay. So the last stage is sage. Just as the king can build warriors, the sage builds kings. He is the wise teacher now to younger generations. So that kind of goes hand in hand with the king. This is probably the man who's retired. He doesn't have to work anymore, or he's been successful enough in his own business or his business endeavors or his career where he doesn't have to work much or work a lot. If he does, he's, the teacher now. He's the one everybody in the family comes to when they have, money issues, family issues. This is the wise person of the family. This is the Don, so to speak, of the family. He's the Don now. So that's the final stage. That the Don stage is kind of self-explanatory. If you know what a Don is of a family, that Godfather stage. He's made it there. Okay, he's been the protector, he's been the lover, he's been the warrior. You know what I'm saying? He's put that hard work in as king. He's ruled his kingdom very nicely, and now he can show you how to get to where he came from as he gets, to settling into old age, and retirement, or just sitting back looking at the life he created. Okay. So again, these stages don't have to all happen at once and in order, but they need to happen nevertheless. And if you notice your man is lacking in any of these areas, try to encourage him to do activities or do things that will cause him to complete these stages. Okay. Because if there's any issues in your relationship and you have an unfinished man, I promise you, some of this has to do with it. He did not get to process life developmentally and psychologically the way he was supposed to. Okay. If you are raising sons, keep these things in mind. So when you have to kind of let them out the nest, let them out the nest. Okay. Do what you know as a parent, as a mother, to keep them safe. However, let them live, let them explore, put your own fear into check. So that you don't, force your fears onto your own children, especially, your sons or daughters, but you don't want to bog them down with your fear. What you're afraid of is that's not there. So don't give them that, and if you're doing it by yourself, it's our job to find or connect with people that would be accepting of our children. Now, I'm not saying date, bed hop and date everybody because you interviewing for somebody for your kid. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you are dating and you're thinking of long-term relationship and you have children and you have a son or sons, make sure this man is a good role model and make sure he is okay engaging and taking on that responsibility with you. Okay. But in the meantime, if you are single and you're by yourself, there's sports things you can try to find, connect with relatives that you might trust. If you have a coworker that's a good friend and he's a male, and if it's appropriate with his spouse, if he has one, hey, my son needs a mentor. You used to play football or you used to play basketball. Like, he's trying to get into basketball. Would you mind working with him or something sometimes in your free time? Just anything like that. Boys and Girls Club Association, stuff like that. But the person that made your child does not have to be the person that raised them. It does not have to be the person that teaches them. Okay. So if the person that help you make them, is falling off on their responsibility, okay, I need you to move past that and move forward as quickly as possible because our children are growing. They're growing every day. And they don't have time to wait on our bitterness to settle in. Handle what you got to handle right away and keep it moving. Okay. So I think that's all I have. I just wanted to kind of point that out for like a little life coaching parenting session. When we're dealing with our sons, let's be mindful of what they need, ladies, moms, and let's be mindful that we can't do it all. I'm extremely independent, been that way since I was 14 years old, but I do accept and acknowledge I cannot do it all. And so when I had to change custody with my oldest two sons years ago, knowing this is what kind of anchored me, you know, knowing that they were with their father, and he's, you know, he's a good, he's a decent man, you know, as far as what I would want my sons to know, he is that. So, and he did a great job, you know, in my eyes, he did a great job. And so I've got my other ones coming up, and I'm doing the same thing, but this is what helped me parent boys when I've never been a boy. All right, so I hope that helps someone. Thank y'all for being with me. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to share, you can. Great. If you want to hit the like button, great. If you don't, I'm still doing my thing. So, and thanks for being with me so I can wear my little fun hat for y'all today. I love this little hat. I'm gonna have to get back online and get some more of these. I think it's called Moffitt, Mofeit, New York hats. Anyway, this is really cool. I'm not a big hat wearer, you know, and I should be with this forehead of mine. I like it. So, thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.